This is an updated guide on making a mod for downshot VR. In this tutorial I will show you how to make a map and make a spawnable. This is the first part in a multi-part series of making mods for downshot. A few things before we get started is the Unreal Engine version we're going to be using is 30 gigabytes, so make sure you have that on your hard drive. And second, a few things are subject to change, so make sure that you check things out before following it blindly. The things that you will want to download right now are Unreal Engine 5.6. This is the version that Downshot SDK currently uses, though as I said before, this could change in future versions. The second thing is in the description, I have the mod SDK. You will want to download that before we get started. Assuming that you have already downloaded the Unreal Engine 5.6 version, you will want to make your way to the Unreal Project browser and make your way to the Games tab. Here you will find a blank template, and you will want to go over here and make sure it's Blueprint. It cannot be C++ because the SDK does not support C++ yet. Now you will want to put in whatever your project name is. For me, it's SDK Tutorial. It cannot have any spaces, so just be aware of that. And this is not your mod name, this is just the name of the project to distinguish it from other projects you may have. So now that you've got it loaded up, it should look something like this, having a default map. And it might be laggy at first, but it should be okay. Now you might notice there's no Downshot SDK in it. That's because if you go to File, Open Project, you need to put in the Downshot SDK. So in all of your files, I have a lot, find wherever your project is that you're going to be using for this. Alright, now that you found it, click Show and Explore. And now you should see all of these things. You'll want to add a new file and specifically call it plugins, just like how I spell it. Specifically with an S and an uppercase P. You want to click Enter, and this creates a plugin folder. There's nothing in it right now. You want to get your Downshot SDK that you got earlier and extract it. Just extract all, and now you have it. Also, do not put in this file that you just extracted. Double click it, and then you want to put in this file. This is where a lot of people mess up for some reason. Alright, I forgot to mention this, but you'll want to restart your project, and if you did everything correctly, there should be a new Downshot SDK up here. When you click, there's a Launch SDK Tools window, and now you put in your mod name. Keep in mind that you cannot change this. I mean, you can, but it's incredibly annoying to change it, so it's just easier not to change it. So put in whatever name you want and press Enter. And it should say Restart Required. Now that you've restarted it, it should have this screen. And keep in mind, all these things I've been talking about can differ for the amount of time it takes to load and stuff, depending on how good your computer is. So if you have a really good computer, it could happen really fast, and if you have a bad computer, it could take a while. So you see this screen, and you'll want to click Create Template Map. It'll lag a little bit. Alright, to see if it worked, you'll want to go to Content Drawer, and you should see whatever your mod name is, and then these three things: Maps and Template Please Rename. You can name this whatever you want, or you could just keep it as is. I'm just going to keep it as is for now. And you'll want to double click it to enter the map. Here you can see the map that, well, you can find in game. But if you click on anything like, let's say we want to know how this landmine works, we'll want to click Edit in Blueprint. And now here you can see all the functionality of this. Now, I'm not going to be going over that today, but I'll probably talk about it later. Now, before we do anything else, you'll want to click the settings button over here, and you'll see all these different things. But for this, you'll want to click on this, plugin content. This lets you be able to go over here, references, and now you'll be able to see all these things. But for now, we're just going to be using this blunt stick. You want to drag it over to spawnables over here, and copy. And now you have a blunt stick. Now, I'm not going to be going over how to change the mesh or anything right now, but just know that you can right here. So, now you have a spawnable and a map. And to rename something, you'll want to click up here, and you can rename it to be whatever you want. So now you have a map and a spawnable. So now that you have those two things, you'll want to launch SDK thingy, I cannot remember, and click whatever you're compiling for. For me, I'm compiling for Android right now, but if you mainly play on PC, you'll want to click compile for Windows. And this should take a while the first time you do it, but afterwards it should only take like a minute or two depending on how big your file is. So I'll come back whenever this is compiled. Once it finally stops loading and it looks like this, that means your mod is finally compiled and ready to be put in mod.io. So here I have mod.io on here, and you can see all these different mods. You'll want to click add mod, and you'll see all these things, and I'll tell you what to do. For mod name, you'll want to put in whatever your mod name is, the mod name that you put right here. And for summary, you can do something like, you just need to put in some sort of summary that sums up what your mod is. For a mod listing image, you'll want to put in my image. And don't put some random image on your computer. Try to put at least a little bit of effort into it, but if not, that's okay. So for this, you'll want to put in whatever you want your description to be. For me, I'm not going to put in a description right now, but I suggest you do. And whatever your mod version is, which is the SDK that you got from the website, you'll want to put in. So for me, it's 1.8. And since we're doing spawnables and maps, I'd put both. And you'll want to create mod. So it's going to load a bit, since that's telling the system like, hey, this is a new mod. For image gallery, I don't have any images right now, so you'll just want to click next. Finally, this is where it gets interesting. You want to go back to your mod right here and click compiled mods folder. Now, it might take a minute to load, and that's completely fine. You do not want to put this in. You want to double click it, and if it's zipped up and your mod name, that's how you know you got the right one. You'll want to put this into here. And it should do something like this. And since we're doing Android, that's Oculus. And this is version 1.0. Changelog things. And agree to the terms. Now you'll want to click upload. And it's uploaded. So you should see this. It will tell you the file size, the version number, and when it was added. It should also show, if it's Windows, it would have a check mark down here, but since it's Oculus/Android, it shows a check mark right there. And this little thing says that it's live, and you can just go to the next. And this mod does not require any dependencies, so you'll just want to click save and next. And so finally, here it is. If you go to Browse Games Downshot and go to 1.8, you should see your new mod. Now, it won't appear in game for a minute or two, so just be patient on that. So now you've loaded in game, and you're ready to download your mod to see if it works. You'll want to go to mods, and then scroll down. Right now, since it's the beta, there's not too many mods, but you might have to scroll down a lot. and you'll just want to download it. Just like that. So now if you go to Mod Maps, there we go, Template SDK tutorial. And this is the map you created. And then if you go to Spawner Guns, SDK tutorial, you now have a blunt stick in game as well. And one last thing is, finally, if you want to update your mod, you'll just go to Add New File, and just like we did with before, you'll place it in the zip file, click Oculus or Windows, depending on whatever you're using, agree, and then upload. That's all it takes to update your mod.